I've often wondered what it is that helps us escape temporary lapses in self belief. Things that perhaps change the way that we feel about ourselves in a negative way. How do we avoid feeling badly about ourselves when we're alone? It takes a lot of effort and responsibility, a lot of failing and getting back up. But in order to become a better version of ourselves, we have to take action. And if we don't take action, and I'm not talking about, just watching these videos or reading books. I'm talking about actually doing the shit. If we don't do that stuff, it's hard for us to get the experience to be useful, to actually have the necessary components to make our lives the way that we want them to be. I think it's a lot easier to not think about how we want our life to be, because it's a lot easier to assume that we have no control over that. The instant that we realize we do have control over that, that's when life starts becoming a lot more about choices. Choices that affect every single part of my life, of your life, of every human being that perhaps participates in a relationship with us. Taking action is key, and taking informed action, like taking specific intentional action, is very important. For instance, a lot of people have said to me, well, I want to give my kids and my parents peace. I want to give them the best possible life that I can, and I want to have X amount of money in my bank account, and I want to go on vacations of houses, whatever it is. People have said that they want these things to me. And so, being a compassionate person, I say, okay, well, here's a list of things that I believe in your particular scenario would be beneficial to get you closer to that reality. The people that get closer to that reality are the ones that take the actions, those steps. And it obviously comes down to a trust in me, sure, but really it comes down to a trust in themselves, because execution really is just that. It's just, you have to believe that to some degree you can do something in order to embark and do it efficiently or do it effectively or do it wholeheartedly. There has to be an aspect of it that's almost manic, that says, no, I can see myself there. I have the skills, I have the charisma, I have the discipline, whatever it is. When we see that, when we see even just a glimpse of it, to use that energy and to put it into action is the best possible thing that any of us can do for ourselves. It's the delta, it's the change that matters. The contrast from sitting around to doing something that makes all of the difference. In my belief in human life, in our life satisfaction, all of it comes down to our ability to act, to do the things. So what are some things that you could use to increase your likelihood of doing an action, right? We're all kind of imperfect beings. And I think of this often because this is kind of an infinite iteration process. An iteration is you do it again and again and just do it slightly differently to get closer to the point. But one of the main things, in my opinion, that can really encourage us to act is to change our environment in a way that makes it easy for us to remember that we can do something. For instance, the person that wants to play music every day. Say you want to play drums, you want to learn drums. To create an environment in which you see drummers on your walls perhaps, or you listen to a lot of music, or you buy the damn drum kit. even if it's too noisy or whatever, get the drums. When you see them in front of you, you'll be much more likely to actually sit down and do them, because there's no disconnect there, right? You have the damn thing. And I've used this a lot in my life. My people that know me say, "There, be careful what you buy, because you are very likely to set aside time to use that thing." And so it's a double-edged sword, sure, but in order to make it easier for us to do these things, it's very important to have an environment that's supportive of that, so that we can subconsciously at least be thinking about the goal. Can get tiresome, sure, but what's worse? Being a little tired or not getting that thing that you want in life? I would argue it's always worse to not get the thing that you want in life, because who else is going to give it to you? I'm sorry, nobody. So environment's essential, and really crafting it and seeing where things are placed in your house and perhaps in your workspace environment, decluttering emails, social media, anything that we look at consistently. If we can declutter it, make it more efficient, we're going to be off to a better start. On top of the environment thing, I think having the bare minimum requirement to do that thing is very important, especially when I'm first kind of getting into something. It's imperative that I have a very loving approach to learning new things. That it's okay to fail. It's okay to take more time. It's okay to ask questions, stupid or otherwise. In fact, it's necessary, really. But that allows me to repeat. That allows me to get into the iteration, which is paramount. Action without consistency doesn't lead to any results. It's just a fling, I suppose, or something that will only really get us that initial high, but it won't leak into delayed gratification, the higher echelon of actions. Like, the best reason to act is that it will get you something in the future. The best reason to act is because it will give you something in the future. Like, we're kind to people because hopefully people will like us and they can help us in some way, or we can help them in some way, right? We study so that we have jobs later on, perhaps, that we actually want to do, that compensate us in a way that we feel is fair. The enormity of taking action by setting aside a geographical location in your house to do something specific, and to make it so easy to execute, is the basis of forming habits. And that's where action starts to become a hack. When an action becomes a habit, if you've ever vaped, or if you've ever masturbated too much, or if you've ever stayed up too late, whatever it is, when you do it enough, it becomes a habit. And then it's an innate feeling that we have to do that thing. Why not use that innate feeling, that innate circuitry in our brains and our bodies to trick ourselves into doing the thing that will make us the people that we want to be? It's the most logical way about taking action. Going about taking action is making it into a habit. And I'll tell you, in my personal experience, you form one or two habits that you didn't have before, and you carry them forward for a little while, and I'd say a little while is like 2 months. You're going to start feeling different. You're going to start walking different. You're going to start waking up different. You're going to start talking different. I'm telling you, you'll have tremendous amounts of Sure, small difficulties for sure, but tremendous amount of self-confidence and self-love that you're able to grow and develop, just like every other living thing. I hope you found this useful. I hope this inspires you to take the smallest possible step to augmenting your environment, to make it more likely that you will do the things that you want to do. We can do this infinitely. I work on this all the time when I have time. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself. Peace.